Hey, Dr. Lindsey here. I want to review a case with you. This is a classic 57-year-old healthcare professional who has his own ideas. And by that I mean he came in with class 5 hair loss, planned on doing 2 cases. We spent a lot of time at the first case deciding where the hairline ought to be. And essentially it's always a struggle, you know. With one case, I can cover this amount of hair, this amount of scalp. If I start down here at your eyebrows, I can get your hairline up to here. If we start way back here, we can cover back to the crown, but then you don't have. So we typically put the hairline about where it ought to be in humans, which is where the skull goes from vertical to horizontal. So before the patient takes the Valium on the first case, we draw it out, put a few irregularities into it so he doesn't look like a natural hairline, and we agree that's where it's going to be. Then we take the Valium and we proceed from there. A third of these guys will get a Valium, and then about 20 minutes later, when they're starting to feel a little good, they say, "Oh, let's bring that here." We don't change anything after you take that Valium. It's all done at that point. So this guy, we had 3,000 grafts on him. He did a great job cleaning. I showed some pictures of him at 6 months, and then he came back yesterday to get his second case. And typically on these guys, you know, we fixed the front third. Second case, we cut out the scar from the first case and get 500 or 600 fewer grafts and start right behind the first case and work back towards the crown. And on almost everybody except for really bushy-haired guys, I tell them, you know, we're going to get a few hundred singles, even though I'll tell the cutters to maybe cut them a little fuller because we want just bulkier hair back here. But we'll get a couple hundred singles, and you have 2 choices. One is double them up and put them in holes back here, even though they don't grow the same direction. Who really cares back here? Or what most people need is take a couple hundred singles and just bolster the hairline. Don't bring it down, just bolster it, because no matter how tight we pack it, you always need more. And so he and I discussed this last year, and at a month, and at 6 months, and on the phone a couple weeks ago. And then he shows up yesterday morning, again before Valium, and says he wants to bring the hairline down an inch. Well, you know, you just can't do that at 57. You got to keep a hairline that looks normal. He'll look like a goofball. But he and I agreed that we'd bring it down somewhere around 1 centimeter or half an inch, thereabouts. So I drew that out for him, and you'll see that in this case, we packed that hairline, we brought his hairline down, but then when the first couple of rows of last year were singles, so now we have to spend some of his doubles to augment the hairline up here. And so he'll get significantly less coverage back towards the back than if we had just done it the way I wanted to. But, you know, within reason, I'll do what the customer wants to do. And so within reason, we did a half an inch hairline reduction or advancement. Out of reason was a full inch. And then the last thing to look at on this fella is look at his scar. I mean, it really is a true trichophytic closure. It's fantastic. I hate to even cut it out of there. And you know, he and I both know on the second time in, I won't get that good a scar on the second time in. It should be pretty good, but it won't be quite as good. And if you listen carefully to him, he and Wendy and I are talking, and I think you can hear his wife in one of the clips talking about how you really can't see that scar at all. It's a fantastic scar. But then, even though he's a healthcare professional, he says, well, you know, you can see it a little bit on the side. You can't see that thing on the side unless you have your head shaved. But psychologically, it's there. And the same thing is true with FUE. You can't see a linear scar. You, me, the customer, and the customer's family all know that they have a zillion little white marks on the back of their head, and you got to be mentally prepared for this. The advertisements you see on the back of the airplane little book showing a scarless surgery. There is no such thing as scarless surgery that violates the skin. There's ways of managing the scarring. And so he's coming in a few minutes, and we'll do a post-op day 1 cleaning, and then he's going to travel back to his area, and I think his mother, who is a nurse, is going to take out his stitches, and then we'll see him in 6 months, and hopefully a year. So enjoy. Thank you. Okay, so it's been a year since we did your first case, and you didn't have much hair at all.
Nope.
That looks fantastic. You know, going for you get that bushy, wiry hair that one of them covers better than most skinny guys, 10 or 12 hairs. And then I saw you at 6 months and you were growing some, and it really kicked in. So we're going to do the second part today. And then the only issue is we're going to put a few at the front. And generally I try to talk you into doing that. We haven't talked yet. But boy, you got so much thick hair. I don't know whether you ought to do that or not. Hang on, say that again, Lindy.
He has a good donor area. Look at that. You can't find a scar.
You can't find the scar on the back. You can find it a little bit on the sides.
Just this little one right there. There's
on the
nothing
back, it's
here.
almost impossible to find.
And you're a medical professional. And, was I truthful with you last year? And
you were 100% truthful with me.
Okay. All right.
Put it on tomorrow.
Yeah, we got some stuff going on. So there's your scar from last year. Well, that is tiny. And then when you come across the other side, it is really difficult to see. So
it gets a little more obvious along the sides, but on the back.
Yeah, that's because you twist your head all. You know, people twist their head all the time, and it stretches. So you have to go a little skinny on the sides. Even then, I give that an A. A as a result on that scar. Okay, so there's this trip, and we went a little skinnier because it's no longer a virgin head. This is with 2 layers of deep stitches in, and although it's a little bit tight, in theory it shouldn't widen out any more than this. So we'll see. So here we are. It's all closed up. This is the skin layer, and everything. There's no struggle getting this head together. So this ought to turn out good. And you said it's a little tight. You can already feel a little tighter.
Yep.
Yep.
I can definitely feel a little tighter.
Yeah. So we got pretty far back. I think we got around just short of 2,500 grafts. I get that hairline lowered for you. And you can be honest, it hurt more this time than last time?
Did hurt a bit more this time than last time.
Yeah, you took more numbing medicine.
It wasn't bad. Certainly tolerable.
We got it really almost all the way back. If we wouldn't have done that hairline lowering, we would have gotten all the way to the end. Okay, so this is post op day 1, the second case. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, he I won't say fussed, but was questioning why we had to trim so much in the front. And remember what I just said earlier was that you know, the first couple of rows last year were singles, and so now that he wants to bring the hairline down, we have to put doubles there and not hit the roots he's already paid for, and then put singles in front of it. So that's why we trimmed that. And then look how far back we got. Hang on, let me get this in focus. We got almost all the way to the back. And sir, you said it hurt a little more last night than the first time? Or
a little more, but not unbearable.
Okay.
Took 3 Vicodins last night. I took 2 the first night last time.
Great. Wendy keeps pointing at the back of your head. I cannot tell what she's talking about. So let me spin back here.
See, it looks really pretty there.
It does look really good there. So clean like you did last year, and then get your mom or somebody to take your stitches out on day 7 or 8, but not 9 or 10, and then start the vitamin D. And send me pictures and let me know that you're still alive, and that then I'll see you at 6 months.
We'll do that. I'll be up here at 6 months or something close to that.